What's up, everybody? My name is Key Air, and you are watching The Important Things That Really Matter. Today, we're going to go into part 3 of Should You Date a Person That's in a Lot of Debt? And today's subject, we're going to be focusing on debt from children. Debt from children. This is an extremely important topic, like most of my topics are. Should you date someone that's in a lot of debt because of their children? Now, let's talk about how much debt a person is in by having children. The cost to raise a child from 0 to 18 is over $300,000. Once again, the cost to raise one child from 0 to 18 years old is over $300,000. Now, if you are dating a person, and let's say that person has 2 kids, and let's say both of those children are under 5 years old, you might as well automatically expect that the costs for those 2 children are going to be about $300,000 each. So to date a person that has 2 children, whether they're male or whether they're female, you better believe that's $600,000 worth of debt for dating somebody with 2 children and they're under 5 years old. $600,000. And that's from 0 to 18. Now, let's say that you happen to be dating somebody that has 2 children and their age range is, let's say, one child is 8 years old, another child is 10 years old. You're dating somebody that have one child that's 8 years old, another child that's 10 years old. Well, at that age range, each child, you will spend about $150,000 per child. So that's $150,000 times 2 because of their age ranges. That's still going to be $300,000 out of your pocket if you're dating somebody that has 2 children, and that's from 0 to 18. Now, some people make the assumption that after 18, the person's going to leave, and you cannot make that assumption. You cannot make the assumption that a person is going to leave their mother's house or their father's house at 18. I have watched a video where this mother's son was still living in the house, and her son was almost 30 years old. Did you hear what I just said? The woman's son was almost 30 years old and still living with the mother. There was also a stepfather in the family, and he was wondering, when is your son gonna move? This man is almost 30 years old. When is he moving out? Well, this man was most definitely concerned because the money that he is bringing into the house is going towards feeding her adult child that's almost 30 years old. So what is the point that I'm making? Just because somebody has children does not mean that they're going to be out of the house at 30 years old. And if they're gone, it also does not mean that they won't come back to live with their mother or their father. Because the times which we're living in right now, these are some hard financial times. So the child might be gone, the adult might be gone, and next thing you know, you come home one day and they done moved back in the house. And they're expecting you, the male or the female, to help support their kids who are adult kids because they're not able to make it out here for whatever particular reason, or they weren't able to find a job. Even though the jobs seem to be very, very plentiful nowadays, you cannot make the assumption that just because a man or a woman's got adult kids, that those kids will not move back in, nor can you make the assumption that they're going to be leaving anytime soon if they're 20 years old. They may never leave. So that $300,000, that was just from 0 to 18 years old. The cost of a child after 18 years old goes up significantly. Well, why does it go up significantly? It goes up significantly because those are now adult children may need to have a car. So you better believe you're going to be helping to pay for that car for a child that may not be yours, okay? The costs go up significantly because now they may be going to a college or they may be going to a trade school. So they're gonna be expecting you to not only help out to buy a car for them, they're gonna be expecting you to help fund in their college. Children that may not be yours, whether you're male or female, they're gonna be looking at you to help fund that. So you cannot make the assumption that once the child gets to be 18 years old, that they're gonna immediately move out. They may never move out. Remember what I just said. There was a woman had a child. He was still living with the mama. He was almost 30 years old. I will say also too, this falls up under fair use. This falls up under fair use. You can't make the assumption the child's gonna move out once they turn 18 or 20 or 25 years old. And then you also cannot make the assumption that because someone's adult children are gone, that they will not move back in. If they do move back in, they're still gonna expect you to pay for the cost of the people, to feed them and other costs associated with them. You're gonna be expected to pay. So these are things that you should be taking into consideration tremendously if you wanna consider being with somebody that has debt due to their children, whether the children are young children, whether the children are teenagers, or whether these children are adults. So these are things you should be considering if you are dating somebody with children. Do you want to take on all that debt? Do you want to take on all that debt? Because this is a great deal of debt. Can you use an extra $300,000 in your pocket? I'm quite sure you can. Anyway, so here's something else that you should consider when you're dating someone out there. Or if you should be bothered with somebody with children, these are some of the costs that you're going to have to deal with. And you better believe they're going to be expecting you to help them to pay these costs, even though the children may not be yours. Anyway, so please like, please share, please subscribe. Peace. I'll see you on the next one.